In this class, we are going to learn how to solve equation involving quadratic equation and simultaneous linear equation. Okay, let's start with the first question. We are asked to solve the equation x minus y equals to 2 and x squared plus y squared equals to 52. Okay, x minus y equals to 2 and x squared plus y squared equals to 52. Now, if you look at this equation, you will discover that the first equation is a linear equation. You understand? Linear equation involving two variables. The second equation is a quadratic equation. You understand? Okay? How do I know that the first equation is a linear equation? Because the highest power of the variable there is 1. You understand? But in this one, we have 2. That means that this is a quadratic and this is linear. This is equation 1 and this is equation 2. Now, if you come across this question in exam, how will you solve this question? Okay, I'm going to show you two methods to solve the question. Okay, so I want you to pay attention. To solve this question, this is the first method. Okay, this is equation 2. To solve this question, I want to show you the first method now. Okay, you have to make one of the unknown the subject of the relation in the linear equation that you are given. Okay, these two equations has quadratic and linear equation. You understand? But the first equation is a linear equation, so it is easy to make one of the unknown the subject of the relation. Okay, so for the first equation, I'm going to have x minus y equals to 2. If I want to make x the subject of the relation, I'm going to have x is equals to 2 plus y, because when this negative y crosses the equals to sign, I'm going to have a positive y. You understand? If it crosses the equals to sign, I'm going to have a positive y. Now, having done this, the next step is that you just have to substitute the value of x into equation 2. You understand? Equation 2 is what? X squared plus y squared equals to 52. Now, when x is 2 plus y, so I'm going to have 2 plus y squared. You see, what I did here is that I just substitute the value of x as 2 plus y. So x is what? I substitute the value of x as 2 plus y into equation 2. This is equation 2, you understand? So I have x squared. I'm going to have 2 plus y squared. You understand? 2 plus y squared plus y squared is equals to 52. Do you understand? Okay? Now, let us open the bracket. I'm going to have 2 plus y plus y squared is equals to 52. Okay? Now, I'm very sure you are part of our previous class when we deal with algebraic expansion. There, I show you something like this. We are asked to expand this bracket. That is, if you are asked to remove the barrier a plus b and a plus b, a plus b and a plus b. Here we are going to take the first element that you have here, the first term that you have here. You use it to multiply all the parameters, all the elements in the second bracket. The first element in the first bracket, use it to multiply all the elements that you have in the second bracket. So I'm going to have a into bracket a plus b. Then the second one, which is plus b, I'm going to use it to multiply the second bracket as well. So I'm going to have a plus b as well. Do you understand? So here I'm going to have a squared plus ab plus ab plus b squared. That is what? A squared plus 2ab plus b squared. Do you understand? Okay, we are still going to use the same approach here. Okay, so here I'm going to have 2. I'm going to use this 2 to multiply all the elements that I have in this second bracket. So I'm going to have 2 into bracket 2 plus y. Okay, then I'm going to use the second element, which is the second element in the first bracket. I'm going to use it to multiply all the contents in the second bracket. So I'm going to have, please pay attention, I'm going to have plus y into bracket 2 plus y as well. So 2 plus y. Do you understand? Plus y squared, okay, let me use black, plus y squared is equals to 52. Okay, so let us proceed. I'm going to have 4 plus 2y, 4 plus 2y plus 2y plus y squared is equals to 52. Okay, So let's proceed. So let us collect like terms. I'm going to have y squared plus y squared, that is 2y squared. 2y squared. 2y plus 2y, that is 4y. Plus 4y plus 4 equals to 52. Okay? Now, you can see that we have a quadratic equation now. Okay? Let us proceed. Here, I'm going to have 2y squared plus 4y. Now, I'm going to move this 42 to the left-hand side of the equation. So, I'm going to have plus 4y plus 4 minus 52. Okay? Because if the 52 crosses the equals to sign, the sign is going to change to a negative number. That will be equals to what? Equals to 0. Okay? Now, we have gotten to this point. The next step here is that you have to, okay, let us subtract 4 from 52. That will give us 48. That will give us 48. So I'm going to have 2y squared plus 4y. That's negative 48 equals to 0. Okay, so you can see that we have a quadratic equation now. Now, this quadratic equation can be reduced. You understand? We can reduce this quadratic equation by dividing all through by 2. You understand? We can reduce this quadratic equation by dividing all through by 2. So let's go. Divide by 2, divide by 2, divide by 2. So the quadratic equation becomes like this. 0 divided by 2 will give us 0. So there is no need. So the quadratic equation becomes like this. Y squared plus 2y minus 24 equals to 0. Okay? So we've gotten here. What do we do? How? We can solve this quadratic equation to get the value of y. Okay? You have to solve it to get the value of y. Now, it depends on you, the method that you're going to use. You understand? You can use any of the method that you are well versed with. But in this video, I'm going to be making use of the factorization method. Okay? I'm going to be using the factorization method. So let me erase this. Okay? If I want to use the factorization method to solve this equation, I'm going to think of two numbers. Don't forget, in our previous class we've done this. I'm very sure you won't find any problem solving this quadratic equation if you are part of our previous class. Okay? Now, to solve this using the factorization method, I just have to think of two numbers such that if I take their product, I'm going to have negative 24, and if I add them together, I'm going to have plus 2. What are those two numbers? Those two numbers are 6 and negative 2. 6 and negative 4. You understand? 6 and negative 4. Let's check. 6 and negative 4. 6 multiplied by negative 4 will give me what? Negative 24. And 6 plus negative 4 will give me 6 minus 4, which is equals to what? 2. You understand? You can see that the product of that two numbers give me negative 24 and the sum give me plus 2. So the two numbers that I need are 6 and negative 4. Do you understand? Okay? Now, having determined the two numbers, the next step is that I'm going to replace these two by those two numbers. Okay? So the equation becomes y squared instead of plus 2y. Hello? Instead of plus 2y, I'm going to have y squared plus 6 minus 2y minus 24 equals to 0. You see, all you have to do is just to pay attention. I first determine the two numbers such that I find two numbers such that if I take their product, I'm going to have negative 24, and if I sum them together, I'm going to have plus 2. You understand? So the two numbers are what? Plus 6 and negative 4. So if I replace this plus 2 by those two numbers, you understand? And the two numbers are plus 6 and negative 2. Plus 6 minus 2, that will give me what? Plus 6 minus 4. It should be minus 4, sorry. Plus 6 and minus 4. So plus 6 minus 4 will give me what? Plus 2. You understand? So that is what I did. I've not done anything. Okay? You shouldn't find this difficult if you are part of our previous class. That is why I always urge you to watch the previous class, because the next class is just like there is no way we talk about this class without laying emphasis on what we learned in our previous class. Okay, so if you miss some of our classes and you discover that you are lacking in an area, or you're lacking in an area, you're missing some important tips, kindly revert back to the channel. There are playlists that you can watch those classes. Okay, now let us proceed here. Let's proceed here. I'm going to have y squared. Okay, open the bracket now. Plus 6 multiplied by y, that is plus 6y. Negative 4 multiplied by y, that is negative 4y, minus 24 equals to 0. Okay, now having gotten to this point, I'm going to separate this equation into two. The first part is here and the second part is this. You understand? Okay, now I'm going to factorize each part, so I want you to pay attention. Let us start with the first bracket. What is common to y squared and plus 6y? The common term is what? Is y. So I'm going to have y into bracket y plus 6. Then what is common to negative 4y and negative 24? The common term here is negative 4. So I'm going to have negative 4 into bracket y plus 6, okay, equals to 0. Now let me give you a tips. If you got to this point and you discover that what you have in this bracket is not the same as what you have in this bracket, that means that you have made a mistake. Okay, you have to cross check. When you factorize, when you get to this step, if you are solving a quadratic equation using a factorization method, if you got to this step, what you have in the first bracket must be the same as what you have in the second bracket. Okay, so as you can see, we have y plus 6 and y plus 6 in both brackets. So I'm going to take one. So I'm going to have y plus 6 equals to 0. Then the factored, I'm going to combine both. Y minus 4. Y minus 4 equals to 0 as well. So here I'm going to have y is equals to negative 6 or positive 4 or plus 4. You understand? Because if this 4 crosses the equals to sign, the sign is going to change to positive. So these are the values of y. Now, I'm not done with the question, okay? Because the question says that we should determine the value of x and y. Okay, we should solve the equation. That means we should determine the value of x and y. So having gotten the value of y, I can easily solve for the value of x. Are you paying attention? Now let's take it step by step. When y is equals to negative 6, what would be the value of x? The value of x will be, you just have to substitute the value of y into the first equation. The first equation is x minus y equals to 2. X minus y equals to 2. So when y is negative 6, the value of x will be x minus into bracket minus 6 equals to 2. I want you to pay attention, okay? Look, y is negative 6. And the y that we have in equation 1 already has a negative. That negative is this. You understand? Okay, so I'm bringing negative 6 into this equation. That means I'm going to have another negative. That is negative 6. You understand? So let's proceed. X plus 6 equals to 2. So x is equals to, because if you take the product of a negative number and a negative number, you are going to have a positive number. So negative 1 multiplied by negative 6, that is positive 6. Because there is an invisible 1 in this bracket. You understand? At the front of this bracket. Okay, so I'm going to have x is equals to 2 minus 6. X is equals to negative 4. So when y is equals to negative 6, x is equals to negative 4. You understand? So the first is negative 4, comma, negative 6. Okay? Now, let's deal with the second aspect. Hello, you just have to pay attention, okay? It's simple. It's simple, okay? Now, when y is equals to 4, what will be the value of x? You just have to substitute the value of y into this equation as well. So x minus 2, x minus y is equals to 2. So x minus 4 is equals to 2. X is equals to 2 plus 4. X is equals to 6. So when y is 4, the value of x is 6. So the second point is 6, 4. You understand? Okay, so the value of x and y, the solution to the quadratic and linear equation is negative 4 and negative 6 and 6 and 4. You see that it's simple. Okay, this is the first method. This is the first method to solve that question. Okay, so let us let us try the second method, okay? Let us try the second method. And I want you to pay attention, okay? Now, are you done with this? I want to erase it. Okay, let me erase this. So don't forget the value of x and y that we got in the first method. We got the values are x, y are -4 and -6. So the second is 6, 4, okay? You know, I cleaned a solution here, so I just rewrite the value of x and y. The value of, when y is 4, the value of x is 6. Okay, so I have 6, 4. Now let us approach the question using another method. Okay, second method. All you have to do is just to pay attention. Okay, the reason why I want to teach you the second method is that you might find the second method simpler compared to the first method, so you just have to choose by yourself that which method do I know. Okay, so let's proceed. The second method. Now we have x minus y equals to 2, then x squared plus y squared equals to 52.